Hey guys, this is Anthony with iCrack.com. Today I'm going to show you how to change the full assembly on your 3G. This is one of the easiest ways to remove and fix a cracked screen on your cell phone. This part also will replace an LCD, home button, ear speaker, or any sort of electronic issues you have on the front of your phone. So today we have our 3G 3GS repair flowchart. The tools I'll be using as well is your standard Phillips head. We have our nylon spudger, the SIM card removal tray, and a little cleaning cloth, as well as your suction cup to take off the full assembly. Now, before we get started, I'm going to show you some of the clear indicators between the 3G and 3GS so you know exactly which phone you're working with and which part to buy. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the differences between the 3G and 3GS from a hardware perspective. So they modified a couple things. This being the 3G, we don't have this antenna here in this area, while on the 3GS, they've added this new number 7 connector. Also with the 3G assemblies, the connections here for the Digitizer, LCD, and the ribbon cable are slightly different. They're actually slightly smaller than the 3GS, which you can see, and I'll show you on the connections with the full assemblies. But so you can specifically see it on the LCD connector. This one's much thinner, while this one has a much thicker, wider connection. And that just makes it easier. It's a modification Apple has done a while ago that makes it easier for the connections to stay on. Other than internally, you can look on the back side of these devices. Our 3GS has the model number A1303 here, and then the 3G is A1241. The real differences happen between these two connections here. So if you're looking at the 3G, you have the wires that are very close knit to one another. On both, this is the LCD and then the Digitizer as well. And as you'll see in a second, the 3GS is much thicker as far as the plastic black that they've connected it to, which makes it easier and has a stronger bond between the logic board. Then here's the 3GS. See that black bar running between the LCD? Makes it much easier to hold a strong connection on that logic board. And they've also modified the connection here. It's a smaller sort of black line plastic piece that does the same. And this is a side-by-side look of the difference between the 3GS, and then to the right we have the 3G. So now that we know the differences between the 3G and 3GS, let's open this thing up and replace it with a brand new full assembly. First thing we want to do is power off the device by holding the power button for a matter of seconds and sliding it off. Now step 2 is to take out these 2 screws here at the bottom with our standard Phillips head. Alright, the third step is to take your suction cup and place it at the bottom side of your full assembly, the screen just above the home button. What we're going to do here is I'm going to take this and use my hand sort of as a lever and pull this up, like so. It'll open like a clam. Also, one thing to keep in mind is when it's really cracked, say like this, it's hard to get a suction sort of on this. So you might want to use some Scotch tape and kind of like overlay the tape so you can get a better suction cup, better pull on the full assembly. Okay, so now that we have it unhinged, we're going to pull open from the bottom half, leaving the top wedged open. Open it like a clam, because there's 3 connections here. We have a number 1 connection, which is the LCD, number 2, which is the Digitizer, and the third is a ribbon cable which connects the speaker and proximity sensor to the logic board. So we can take a nylon spudger and sort of unhinge these. The number 1, like I said, the connection's very weak on a 3G, so it's already unhinged itself. Then we take the spudger, unplug number 2, and then I will show you the third one. that's there, you see that it's held on by this little lever. You have to actually take that black lever, lift it up like so, and then it'll release the number 3 ribbon cable. And it'll slide right out. Okay, so we've removed the full assembly from the core part of the phone. Now we'll take our replacement assembly. This is your digitizer, you have your LCD, you have the whole mid-frame around, makes it very easy, along with a brand new home button, you have your speaker assembly, you have the proximity sensors, everything is brand new. And instead of doing sort of your standard digitizer replacement for this that takes about 40 minutes, this takes about 2 minutes. So now all we have to do is reverse sort of the process of this. We're going to take these 3 connections, put them on, drop it down, and then screw in the 2 bottom screws. So what I'm going to do first is sort of gently bend back this LCD connection, very gently, and then pull back our digitizer as well and focus on this ribbon cable. So we're going to slide in the ribbon cable right away. My technique is to curl it a little bit so you're able to kind of get a hinge and slide better. And as you can see, there's 2 subtle colors. You have your gold sort of metal that's going to go into the ribbon cable port, and then you have the orange sort of section. So I'm going to push it all the way into that orange section, okay? Slide it down and on. Now that it's in, we want to lock it just by dropping down this lever. Then you'll kind of go backwards. We'll take the number 2 connector, click that in. Make sure you hear a click, and then finally your LCD number 3 connection. So just feel around a little bit. The 3Gs can be a little more of a headache, but just feel around, be gentle. Okay, so once you have the 3 connections in, we're going to start to drop this full assembly down, starting with the top near the speaker assembly first, and then we'll slowly drop down the bottom part near the home button. You want to hear a click, so it's fully in place in the iPhone. And then we'll do, before we drop these bottom screws, let's just test to see if it's powering on and the LCD and everything's working correctly. So LCD looks good. We'll go ahead and touch the digitizer. Once it's fully booted, while we're doing that, we can go ahead and put in the new screws. Okay, so now that we've installed it and it's rebooted, we're going to go ahead and test the digitizer. We'll slide to unlock and test some of these numbers just to make sure everything's fully connected to the logic board, and it's looking great. There you have it. That's our 3G and 3GS full assembly replacement done by iCrack.com. My name is Anthony. Check us out on our website, and we'll see you soon.